Finding a good 1,000 watt solar generator in 2026 is honestly way harder than it should be. On paper, almost all of them sound incredible. Every brand promises massive battery life, fast charging, quiet operation, and enough power to run your entire camping setup or survive a blackout. But once you actually start using these things in the real world, the differences become obvious fast. Some recharge painfully slow, some overheat. Some look powerful until you plug in a coffee maker and suddenly the whole system starts screaming with fan noise. And then there's the biggest mistake most buyers make. They focus only on wattage. That's it. They see 1,000 watts and assume every model performs the same. Huge mistake. Battery chemistry, solar input speed, inverter quality, portability, and long-term durability matter just as much as raw output. A lightweight unit with terrible recharge times can become frustrating within days. Meanwhile, a slightly heavier model with faster charging and better battery lifespan can completely change your off-grid experience. So, in this video, the goal is simple. No marketing fluff, no sponsored hype, just the best 1,000 watt solar generators that actually make sense for camping, RV trips, emergency backup, off-grid use, and everyday reliability. Some are surprisingly affordable, some are insanely powerful for their size, and one of them completely dominated the competition in overall usability. But not every model on this list deserves your money. A few have compromises you absolutely need to know before buying. Let's get into it. To make this ranking fair, these generators were compared based on real-world usability, battery performance, portability, recharge speeds, inverter capability, solar efficiency, and long-term value. Because a solar generator that looks impressive on a spec sheet means nothing if it becomes annoying after 2 weekends of actual use. Starting off at number 6, the BLUETTI AC70. This thing sits in a really interesting middle ground between compact travel units and full-sized home backup stations. And honestly, that balance is exactly why so many people are gravitating toward it right now. The AC70 packs a 768 watt-hour LiFePO4 battery with a true 1,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. But the real headline feature is the powerlifting mode that lets it handle resistive appliances up to 2,000 watts. That sounds like marketing nonsense at first, until you actually try it. Hair dryers, kettles, coffee makers, even small heaters suddenly become usable on a generator that technically shouldn't handle them. That's a huge advantage for road trips and van life setups, where versatility matters more than pure capacity. The charging speed is another massive win. This thing goes from nearly empty to 80% in around 45 minutes with turbocharging enabled. That's insanely convenient before a camping trip or during emergency outages when time matters. And compared to competitors like the EcoFlow River 2 Pro, the BLUETTI pulls ahead with better continuous output and dramatically better solar input capability. But here's the catch. You only get 2 AC outlets. For some people that won't matter. For others, it becomes annoying immediately. Especially during outages when you're trying to run multiple household devices at once. And while the unit feels premium and durable, it's slightly heavier than some direct competitors in this size class. Still, for solo travelers, campers, and people wanting a fast-charging LiFePO4 system without spending a fortune, the AC70 delivers serious value. It feels modern, powerful, and genuinely practical instead of gimmicky. At number 5, the BROWEY Portable Power Station. This one is probably the most unique generator on the list because the solar panel is literally built into the unit itself. No separate folding panels, no extra cables cluttering your trunk. Just unfold the protective lid and start charging. And honestly, that convenience is incredibly appealing for casual users. This generator was clearly designed for people who hate complicated setups, weekend campers, emergency backup users, van lifers running minimal gear. It's basically an all-in-one grab-and-go solution. The 614 watt-hour LiFePO4 battery, paired with a 1,000 watt inverter, handles essentials surprisingly well. CPAP machines, portable fridges, laptops, lighting setups, and even some low-wattage kitchen appliances run without issues. Now, compared to older units like the Jackery, Explorer 500, The BROWEY feels significantly more modern. Better battery lifespan, better port selection, better long-term durability. And the integrated solar setup genuinely changes the user experience because you're far more likely to actually use solar charging when it's already attached and ready. But this design also creates a serious compromise. To charge with solar, the entire power station sits directly in the sun. That means heat exposure becomes a real concern during long charging sessions. And the built-in panel only outputs around 30 to 40 watts, which is nowhere near enough for fast recharging. Realistically, it works more like maintenance charging unless you connect external panels. So this isn't the best option for heavy off-grid users. But for casual camping and emergency readiness, it's surprisingly smart. It removes complexity, and for many buyers, simplicity is worth more than raw specs. At number 4, the BALDR 1000-watt power station. This thing makes an immediate impression for one simple reason. It's shockingly lightweight for the amount of power you get. At only 18.5 pounds with an 808 watt-hour battery, the BALDR feels noticeably easier to carry than many competing generators hovering around the same capacity. That portability matters more than people think. A lot of buyers imagine themselves constantly moving these stations around campsites, RVs, cabins, and homes during outages. Then reality hits. Some generators become dead weight after 10 minutes. The BALDR avoids that problem better than most. Performance-wise, it's extremely balanced. The 1000-watt pure sine wave inverter handles sensitive electronics cleanly, making it excellent for photographers, drone operators, remote workers, and medical devices like CPAP machines. The wireless charging pad on top is surprisingly useful too. Sounds minor, but during camping trips, reducing cable clutter becomes a bigger deal than expected. The integrated LED light also makes this generator genuinely useful during blackouts. And unlike some competitors that bury information in complicated menus, the BALDR display is simple and easy to read even outdoors. But there's one major downside here. This unit uses standard lithium-ion chemistry instead of LiFePO4, and that affects long-term durability. You're looking at significantly fewer charge cycles before battery degradation starts becoming noticeable. For occasional use, that's probably fine. But for heavy off-grid users cycling their battery constantly, LiFePO4 models simply make more sense. Recharge speeds are also decent rather than impressive. While some newer competitors recharge insanely fast, the BALDR still takes several hours to fully top off. Even so, for people prioritizing lightweight portability and practical everyday usability, this thing is excellent, especially for weekend adventures and backup power situations where you don't want to lug around a 25-pound brick. At number 3, the Togo Power A1000 LFP. This is where things start getting serious. The Togo Power doesn't just feel like a camping accessory, it feels like a legitimate backup power system. The massive 1037 watt-hours LiFePO4 battery immediately gives it an advantage over many competitors, especially for longer outages or extended off-grid trips. And unlike cheaper generators that struggle under sustained loads, this thing feels stable and dependable. Running portable freezers, laptops, routers, lighting setups, TVs, or even workstations becomes effortless. That extra battery capacity changes the entire experience because you stop obsessing over every watt being used. Now here's the feature that really stands out. The fast charging is ridiculous. Fully recharging a battery this large in roughly 1.5 hours feels almost unreal if you've used older solar generators before. That dramatically reduces downtime and makes the generator far more practical during emergencies. Compared to something like the Jackery Explorer 1000, the Togo Power simply feels more future-proof. Better battery chemistry, better recharge speeds, better long-term value. It's designed for users who expect to keep their generator for years instead of replacing it every couple seasons. But there's a trade-off. It's heavy. Not outrageously heavy, but definitely less convenient for quick grab-and-go use. And during high-output sessions or rapid charging, the cooling fans become pretty noticeable. In a silent tent at night, that fan noise absolutely stands out. Still, if reliability and runtime matter more than portability, the Togo Power becomes extremely compelling. This is the kind of generator that can comfortably carry an entire weekend trip or keep critical home devices running through extended outages without constant battery anxiety. At number 2, the EBL Portable Power Station 1000 watts. This generator hits a sweet spot that a lot of buyers are searching for right now. Big capacity, solid output, modern features, but without the premium pricing attached to the biggest brands. The 999 watt-hour battery paired with a 1000 watt pure sine wave inverter gives this thing enough muscle for serious applications. RV owners especially will appreciate how easily it handles portable fridges, fans, lights, routers, laptops, and small kitchen appliances simultaneously. And unlike bare-bones budget units, the EBL actually feels thoughtfully designed. The wireless charging pad on top becomes useful almost immediately. The 60-watt USB-C port handles modern laptops cleanly, and the display gives straightforward, real-time information without overcomplicating things. Where this generator really shines is value for money. When you compare it against premium competitors with nearly identical capacity, the EBL often costs significantly less while still delivering extremely similar real-world performance. That makes it incredibly attractive for families wanting emergency backup without blowing their entire budget. But again, there's a catch. Like several other models on this list, it still relies on traditional lithium-ion battery chemistry instead of LiFePO4. So while performance is strong, long-term cycle lifespan isn't nearly as impressive as the newer phosphate-based systems. Recharge speeds are also respectable, but nowhere near the ultra-fast charging systems dominating newer premium models. Even with those compromises, the EBL delivers tremendous practical value. For RV travel, blackout preparedness, and casual off-grid use, it covers almost everything most buyers realistically need. And finally, at number 1, the GRECELL T1000. This generator earned the top spot because it consistently balances the things that matter most to everyday users better than almost anything else in this category. First, the portability is outstanding. Under 18 pounds for a nearly 1000 watt-hour power station is incredibly impressive. The moment you pick it up, you understand why this matters. Whether you're loading it into an SUV, carrying it around a campsite, or moving it room to room during a blackout, that lighter design makes a huge difference over time. But lightweight alone doesn't win rankings. The GRECELL also nails usability. The flat folding handle makes storage easier inside RVs and tight closets. The rubberized corners add durability for outdoor use. And the generous port selection means you can realistically power an entire mix of devices without constantly swapping cables around. Real-world performance is where this thing becomes genuinely impressive. Running a portable fridge overnight, charging drones and cameras, powering laptops, or maintaining a home office setup during outages all feel effortless. And despite being compact, it never feels underpowered for normal daily use. Compared to the Jackery Explorer 1000, the GRECELL often comes in lighter and more affordable while delivering nearly identical usable capacity. That's a strong combination for budget-conscious buyers who still want dependable performance. Now, the weaknesses. Charging speeds are definitely slower than modern fast-charge competitors. And like the EBL, it uses NCM lithium-ion chemistry rather than LiFePO4, which means shorter overall lifespan. Heavy daily users may eventually want something more industrial grade. But for the majority of buyers, this thing absolutely hits the sweet spot. It's portable, practical, versatile, and far easier to live with than many larger, bulkier competitors. Now, before choosing any solar generator from this list, there's something important most people overlook. Bigger numbers don't automatically mean better experiences. A massive battery sounds amazing, until you're dragging 40 pounds through a campsite. Ultra-fast charging sounds incredible, until cooling fans become unbearably loud at night. And super cheap generators often look tempting until battery degradation starts appearing far earlier than expected. That's why only a few models here truly stand out depending on the type of buyer. If long-term durability matters most, LiFePO4 systems like the BLUETTI AC70 and Togo power are clearly smarter investments. If portability matters most, the GRECELL becomes extremely hard to beat. And if simplicity is your priority, the BROWEY's integrated solar setup offers one of the easiest experiences available right now. So here's the final breakdown. For the best overall balance of portability, performance, and value, the GRECELL T1000 takes the top spot. It simply works well for the widest range of users without becoming frustrating in everyday situations. For the best long-term investment, the Togo Power A1000 LFP is probably the smartest buy thanks to its massive LiFePO4 battery and insanely fast charging capabilities. For the best compact powerhouse, the BLUETTI AC70 is incredibly impressive with its powerlifting mode and industry-leading recharge speeds. And for budget-conscious buyers wanting strong capacity without premium pricing, the EBL 1000 watts remains one of the best value picks currently available. No matter which one you choose, the biggest recommendation is simple. Buy based on how you actually plan to use it, not just the biggest numbers on the box. If you want to check current prices, updated discounts, or availability for any of these solar generators, all the links are waiting in the description below. Some of these models sell out surprisingly fast during storm season and camping months, so definitely check before inventory disappears.